Hey guys, so I apologize. I had some audio issues yesterday or the day before, whenever I made the video. So I have adjusted those. I haven't made a video in a while, so when I reset my computer, my settings were off. But I tried to do this again. And I want to talk today about an amazing video that was sent to me. And it was actually sent to me because Trey Smith put a clip of my video into this video. But hey guys, how are you? I'm gonna try. Can you hear me okay? Because I had some audio issues the other day and I didn't realize. Hey, video board. So let me know if you can hear me pretty clearly. Thanks, Noel. So what I started out saying is I wanted to talk a little bit, hey Samantha, about this video that Trey Smith made. Hey Amanda. A very slight whizzing noise. Still? Okay, I'm gonna just... Okay, sound is good. Okay. It may be something in the background. So, this video that Trey Smith made, I don't know if you guys know who he is. He has a ton of subscribers, almost 300,000. And his video called The Day of Reckoning was actually sent to me by a friend because there was a clip of one of my videos in there where I was speaking about coming under attack for trying to raise money to feed people. And in watching I watched the video in its entirety. This was such an amazing video. I mean, I was so emotional watching this. And I wanted to go over a few things that he talked about in this video. I don't have the link in the description yet because I can't copy and paste when I open Streamlabs. So as soon as I'm done, I'll edit and put the link to the video in the description. Hey, Cobus. In this video, I didn't really know who Clement was, but I was very emotional watching this video because it speaks a lot about America as well as South Africa. And I definitely wasn't expecting a video so long going into the history of South Africa and speaking the truth about what the ANC is doing, from, denying people food to all of the issues, the corruption, the murder of farmers. He went over the Battle of Blood River. It was just so much. I'm trying not to cry. But in part of this video, he shows a man named Dr. Davis. He's an American, I believe, and he had been working in Africa. And he was thought to have the cure for AIDS. And Fox News even talked about this, but all of it's so hard to find. It's been whitewashed off the internet, like so many other things. So what Dr. Davis was doing, he took goats and he injected them with HIV. And then he used the antibodies that the goats made to cure them. And it worked. So he started out, Ghana, I think, funded some research for him. And he started out with a couple of patients. He gave them 2 injections. And they would come back each day for their injections. And each day they would be feeling better and better and better. And their viral loads were going down and down and then became undetectable. And they were on no meds, okay? So he he came back to the U.S. to try to get approval for this. I wouldn't call it a vaccine, but this medication. And Fox News said that he met with Dr. Fauci's office. And after that, he never made his flight back to Africa. Fox News reported all of this, but like I said, it's been whitewashed by the internet. Now, there was a lady named Rocky, and her daughter was 6 years old, and she had HIV. And she was very desperate to help her at this time. So she got on a train, and her daughter, Precious, traveled 1,000 miles to meet with Dr. Davis. She did ask him to give her daughter the serum, that's what they called it. And he told her he couldn't because it wasn't FDA approved. So when he wasn't looking, she stole the serum. She took it. And she took it home. And she injected her daughter every day with it until there was no more. And every day she felt better and better. She said she was actually scared because she was bouncing off the walls. And when she went in for her checkup, her viral load was 0. And she was on no medication. And so Dr. Fauci gave a statement saying that there was no evidence that this serum worked, that they had done research, more complicated research, and it showed actually the opposite. I don't trust Dr. Fauci, but Dr. Davis died in 2007, and nothing has been done about this. And the lady Rocky says that when she spoke to Dr. Davis, that she could tell he was a man that he just wanted to help people, and that he told her that God put him on a mission and told him to do this, to use these goats to find a cure to help people. It's just a crazy, crazy story that most people, that we've never heard of this, and it's, the little girl spoke at some function at the White House. I can't remember. Anyway, he goes on to show some of Kim Clement's words, and he actually shows some clips of Senior Van Rensburg's words as well. And Kim Clement, as I said, I didn't really know exactly who he was, but there is a part where he speaks about taking down the giant, and what he said was, the communist and communism. And he says, and this is way before Trump ever came, he says that there will be a man, not under Obama, that will come, and that he will end up meeting with Kim Jong-un, right? Crazy. He says this man has been collecting stones for the giant. And that kind of just made me emotional and blew me away, because, I don't know, all of us are wondering what goes on behind the scenes and if anything's being done. And, I often say that I refuse to believe that nothing is being done. And Kim Clement even spoke on kind of what's happening with the COVID-19. He said that there was going to be something that would come for the world, and that it was odd, that it wasn't like 9/11, but it was something else that would hurt the economy. And I forget everything he said, but it was just really interesting. I mean, you guys have to watch this video. You have to. In the video, Trey Smiths also speaks on the fact that, South Africa, the universities have a passing degree for blacks that's only at 30%. That's despicable. And it's pretty racist that you think that that's all that they're capable of, right? Maybe if you put the bar higher, people would seek to achieve greater things. Noel says, Fossey said and lobbied saying that HIV caused AIDS, which is a lie. There are millions of people in Africa and around the world who live with AIDS and never get AIDS through their lives. I'm a little confused by that, Noel. Dr. Fossey, I don't trust Dr. Fossey. I saw a rare clip. In this video, there's a rare clip of Dr. Davis. And you have to see it, guys. You have to watch it. It's quite long, but it's worth seeing into its entirety, the whole video. He also speaks on, the aid being denied to whites during this time, and so much more. You guys will relate to it so much. But one thing he says that makes perfect sense was, South Africa just being handed over to the ANC. That's like if one of the other African countries, if they went and said, okay, we want Egypt. This is our country now. And the world said, okay, and handed them Egypt. And they said, okay, they can no longer practice their religion. They can't speak their language. This is our country now, which was basically what was done with South Africa. It would never happen. The world would not allow it to happen, right? Only in South Africa. And I mean, this was a good analogy of what happened in South Africa. Where else in the world can foreigners go into a country, cause mass chaos, and have the country handed to them, just because they don't have a country that is that nice or prosperous? It doesn't make any sense. And something else that's interesting is, I was doing some research on George Soros, and speaking of the internet being whitewashed, I had to go to an alternative browser to find any real information. You can't find a negative story, or it is very hard to find one negative story about Soros, Ramapo, the ANC. I mean, you have to really search and change around your words and to find anything credible. All that you find is just bullshit stories praising everything they're doing and telling you how good they are. I mean, no wonder the entire world is freaking brainwashed. It's just despicable. I mean, it's just showing you that they are suppressing information, which, the fact that we can't put anything up on social media that's the truth, the hate that is openly shared on social media for the white minority in South Africa, if we do, then we are banned for hate speech. If we put up the crime scene photos, we are either inciting violence or they're too graphic, right? So this was one reason I created the website, ANC Sanctioned Genocide, so that I could put up every single one of these images and every single one of these screenshots of hate posted openly online, and no one could ever take it down, so that the truth could be seen by the world. And you guys know I've had to start over on my website, but I've been working really hard on it. You should go and check it out because it's looking pretty good, and I've got a lot of information up. Even on the documents and information page, on the blog page, I just posted a story that it was written by a man for the Telegraph in the UK about Annette Keneally and her murder. And it's actually an amazing story, but you had to pay to see it. So I took it and put it on my blog page so that everyone could see it. So go over and read that, because it's a really great story. And it just goes more into her life and about what happened. Another thing that he showed on this video was Ramapo speaking in Parliament, and he was assuring the Zulu king that he was not going to try to take his land, right? So he was saying that we are concerned for our people. We are going to make sure that our people have land and opportunities. And he kept saying, our people. And Terra Lakota stood up and made a huge scene. He actually started yelling, and he told him, who is not our people? You say you're going to take land from people and give it to our people. Who in this country is not our people? Tell me what you mean when you say our people, because I want to know who is not our people and who is our people in the country. And of course, he was, cowed down and silenced. I know, Amanda, it is very sad to look at the photos. I made a video a while back showing what South Africa used to look like compared to what it is today in a lot of different areas. And it's very sad for even me to see that, even though it's not my country. I relate because my state that was its own sovereign nation, the only state in America to be its own sovereign nation, is under attack. And so I can relate somewhat because it would be so devastating to see the takeover and destruction of something I'm so proud of and that I love so much. Yeah, Soros types, the bad guys, have been presenting themselves as philanthropists doing good work for a long time. And actually, it's so funny because this is the word they use for George Soros over and over and over again, philanthropist. They fail to mention that he single-handedly caused the immigration crisis in Europe, and that he planned it and admitted it, and that he is trying to destroy everything that every country that shows any type of nationalism holds dear. Basically everything good and decent left in this world. Mikhail makes a good point. He says Ramaphosa is a fool if he believes the blacks are united as one. They hate each other even more than different European in times of war. Yes, that is something else he spoke on, that the different tribes, that they hate each other, and they murder each other, which was one reason there was a need to have the 10-state solution to stop the warring tribes from slaughtering each other and to try to have some semblance of peace. Evil usually masquerades under the guise of the NGOs and charities lately, yes. Hi, Stephen. No thank you necessary. And that's something else that Senior spoke of during this time, is what I believe he was speaking of, is that many people will be fooled. I think his exact words were the boar will have the wool pulled over their eyes. But in the bigger picture, that people will believe good to be evil and evil to be good. And we see this happening around the world. People are so brainwashed and indoctrinated because of the suppression of true information on the internet, because of the suppression of information in schools and universities, where professors teach pretty much socialism. I mean, kids go into school and come out Bernie Sanders supporters. It's crazy. I'm scared to even send my children to college with all of this going on. I mean, it's just despicable. So my webpage, guys, is in the description. We are still raising money to feed people, being that the lockdown is still underway, and there are some people that cannot provide for themselves, as you guys all know. The goal wasn't to have South Africans contribute to this. It is people from other countries who are not, as bad off that may have money to contribute, but I can guarantee you that it's making a huge difference. I shared on Twitter a screenshot of how much money that we've raised so far, and it was about $700. So, I mean, that makes a huge difference in people's lives. And some of these people, again, would not eat were it not for good men and women on the ground of many different groups and even individually willing to get food to them, even with the government trying to ban it and wanting this food delivered to government facilities where it will then be distributed to the black community and no white person will ever receive it. So, with the help and working in concert with people on the ground, getting this food and necessities to people. We still have a need for this. If anybody's watching and wants to help, you can go to the website. It is in the description. As I said, I'm also going to put the link to Trey Smiths' video in there. And please watch it, guys, because it is very amazing. And I do care very much for the people that are forgotten and, as you say, hungry. Food is a basic human necessity. And I get emails, guys, every day from mothers who don't know how they're going to feed their children, from fathers and husbands who don't know how they're going to feed their families. They can't find work, or they lost their job, or whatever the reason may be, that are in need of help, And it's very sad to me. And I can just say that I would just hope that if it were me and my children in such a situation, that someone in the world would care enough to try to help us. It's humanity, and people have forgotten their humanity. And I wake up every day and just have the goal of remaining humble and never forgetting that I am the same as other people. Never above, never below. I'm just like they are. And we all have times when we're up and when we're down. And, people forget that so easily, that there may come a time where they need help. And just especially Americans have become so materialistic and self-serving that they say, oh, I don't have time, or we have this going on. There's no problem too great that you literally ignore human beings being genocided, denied food, or any type of help by their own government. That's called tyranny. Government holds a huge amount of power. The civilian is no match for the power of government, and that is an abuse, and it should not be done. Hi, Olaf. Thank you, Covis. So, I don't know, guys, it's just simple humanity, and it doesn't take much to show a small act of kindness, to show people that they're not forgotten by the world, and that we won't stand for it. And, you know, Trey Smiths' video, he has 300,000 followers, guys, almost. And he just spoke for almost 2 hours about South Africa and told the truth of what's going on. That's a victory. You know, when I began doing this, there were not very many people speaking at all on South Africa, especially outside of South Africa. And now I'm seeing something amazing, and that is people are pissed. People are finding out the truth, and they want to know what the hell is going on and why is it being ignored. So, on that note, guys, I will end this here. I didn't plan for it to be very long, but please do me a favor and go and watch the video. I'm going to put the link in the description, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you for coming in and listening. I appreciate all of you very much. Oh, and don't forget, go check out my website. I've done a lot of work to it, and it's completely changed. ANCsanctionedgenocide.com. Bye, guys.